Hi, my name is Rachel, and I am a light worker. I am a channel and an astrologer. I also do the tarot and numerology. I've kind of always been into all of that. Some people might call it moons and stars, some people might call it weird. I've been into all of that. For some reason, I've just been always drawn to it, even as a small child. So I decided to do this video on what it means to be a light worker, what I mean when I say I'm a light worker. That's my first thing that I try to say on these videos because it's important to acknowledge that, I think, number one. And number two, to get that message out there. Some people are already resonating with it, but they don't know the term. Some people know the term, but they're not sure if that's who they are. Some people haven't heard anything about it and might come across this video and go, what the heck is this woman talking about? If it resonates for you, take it. If it doesn't resonate, move on. There's no right or wrong here. It's either if somebody resonates or they don't. Now, what I mean when I say I'm a light worker, okay, and you might find different explanations on the internet, different definitions, but what I mean is somebody who works with light and is sending light to the planet or to people or to animals. Light worker can be somebody who literally works with the light, with the different rays, the 12 rays of light. That's something that you can look up on, you can Google it. There are many different explanations of that as well. I have identified as a light worker probably since about 2014. That's not when I started doing the light work. I just didn't know what it was called. I didn't know it was called that. I thought it was just like a visualization technique, which it is, similar to that. Okay, so light worker is somebody who brings more light to the planet. That's another, I would say, another component of what a light worker is. And that can be done many different ways. It can be, like I said, literally somebody who works with light, somebody who teaches yoga, somebody who does energetic healing, somebody who works with aromatherapy or color therapy or any other sort of energetic healing technique. So that person can be a light worker, not necessarily that they are, but they can be. And also somebody who is an artist or a musician or a writer, a poet, anybody who brings in light. And what I mean by light is beauty. It's makes people feel good. It's something that people identify with. It's something that gives people hope. It gives people a sense of optimism. It may be something that you just relate to and it feels right to you. I know that for me, it felt right. And it was a journey from getting to what I was doing and I didn't realize what I was doing or didn't have a term for it. There's also people who identify as a starseed. So you can be a starseed and be a light worker. You can be a light worker but not be a starseed, okay? That's my understanding. So a light worker is, a starseed is somebody who identifies that they have come from another planet or another galaxy. So that's different. And it's very interesting, I think, to me. It's something that I identify with. I've been saying since I was about 12 years old, maybe younger, probably younger, that I didn't come from here. I'm pretty sure that I came from somewhere else, another planet. And I happily told anybody that was in hearing distance when I was younger, not realizing that this is something that people would frown upon. So you may have a story like that. Being somebody who as a child was very unusual, who spoke about things that other people were just like, what? So there's that. And a starseed isn't necessarily a light worker, is my understanding, but many starseeds are. There's somebody who works with the light. And another way to think about light work. What I began to realize rather quickly is that the light is something that comes from within us. It's something that comes from above, and it's also something that can be coming from below, and it's energies of the planet itself, Mother Earth, and then light can be coming from either the celestial realms or the galactic realms, whichever you identify with. I identify with both at this point. I have no problem with either. I understand that they actually work together, and that alone is going to blow some people's minds a bit. Angels and aliens working together, what? Sure, why not? They're both here to help Gaia. They're both here to help this planet ascend, and the people here ascend. So not just light workers, but everybody. Now you're going to hear different stories on, well, there's only this many light workers, 144,000, and they're meant to wake up. There's all kinds of different stories. And I think you should explore that. I certainly have. And I found it very interesting. Some of it I resonated with, some of it I didn't. So that's, that's all you can say, really. If you don't identify with it, set it aside. There's too many other things out there. So, okay, so that's basically my take on what a light worker is. Now, as far as actually working with light, okay, I'm taking a deep breath on that. Some of this I can explain relatively easy, and some of it is more difficult. As I said, there's light all around us. It's everywhere around us, and it is also within us. Now, when I first started working with the light, I didn't realize that. I didn't realize the light was within me. I learned grounding techniques, putting your feet flat on the ground, the floor, and sending some people will say differently, but what I believe is that we send roots, and my roots are like branches of a tree. So they're brown, and they are leaving me through my Earth Star chakras. So the Earth Star chakras are at the bottom of your feet, and it's kind of in the middle of your sole of your foot. And that's a very important part of the picture here. If you don't ground, the light sometimes will feel too much, or you can't seem to get quite a handle on it. And part of the whole object of this is to ground the light into Mother Earth, into the planet. And the reason why we're doing that is we're helping to heal Mother Earth. Am I the only one talking about this? No, I'm not. There are plenty of other people out there who are talking about light workers and sending light, what it means to be a light worker. There's plenty of different perspectives on that. And that, as far as I'm concerned, is how it should be. We don't have to be stuck in little boxes. That's not what this is about anymore. What this is about is bringing us into the future, and the future is all points of view are valid. All points of view help us learn about each other and help us grow when we're open to hearing. Doesn't mean that you have to agree, but be open to hearing it and listening to somebody's point of view. Okay, I wrote some notes here, so. Okay, so one of the things that I wanted to let you know is that there's other people like myself who identify as a light worker, and we work with other light workers. Now, some people do this in a conscious way. There are groups out there on the internet, on Facebook. I'm not on Facebook, but there are groups in Facebook for light workers. I can't vouch for all of them. I have no idea. I don't work with a group in that way. I do work with a group called the Sisterhood of the Emerald Fire, and I don't identify with everything that their philosophy is, but I identify with a lot of it, and they do really good work sending light to Mother Earth, sending light to places that are like Yemen, Palestine, and Flint, Michigan, wherever there's been trauma, where people are hurting, we send light. Does that solve everything? No, it doesn't. But what it does do is it brings attention to it. It also enables because the first thing that we have to do to heal is to know what we're healing, okay? I think most people can agree with that. So it's easy for us to determine when we see a place like Flint, Michigan, where people are not getting clean water and have been getting the runaround, and the government's corrupt. Whatever your political beliefs are, I don't want to get into that, but I think a lot of us know that both parties are corrupt, that our government is filled with corruption. And so one of the things that we do, like in Flint, is we've sent light there. We send light there to help people heal, to help people open up their throat chakra and be able to speak about it. The light will do what it needs to do. And the way that I look at it is I send the light, and then the light knows what it needs to do. If it needs to help somebody heal, then it will do that. If it needs to bring attention to the situation, help a reporter or journalist actually get the true story, the light can work in many different ways. And I try not to control it. I try not to tell it what to do or think I know better. I'm just a conduit. Okay, that's how I look at it. I'm a conduit. The light comes through me. I send it out, and then it goes where it needs to go. And like I said, I'm not the only one that does this. When I first started doing light work, I knew I was working with other people, but I didn't know who they were. I would send light, and it's like I would be called. I'd be like, okay, you need to send light now. A guide would tell me, okay, you need to send light right now, and you need to send it to the Pacific Ocean, or you need to send it to Vietnam, or you need to, wherever, you need to send it to Hawaii, where it could be any number of possibilities. So I just try to be in a place where I can drop everything I'm doing. I've never had them call me while I'm in the car or anything like that, so they're not going to ask you to do something when you need your concentration somewhere else, okay? But I would hear the call, and I would just, like, people who look at me, they might think, oh, she's meditating. I just do some deep breathing, deep conscious breathing, and I visualize the light coming through me and going out to where it needs to go. Okay, first I ground, then I bring the light in, then I send it where it needs to go. And sometimes it's just like activating my own chakras for the energy to go out. There's as many different ways to send light as there are people, I think. There's just an endless supply. Now, what is the light? I guess if I have to define it, what I would say, it's love. It's definitely love. It's a loving feeling that you get when you send the light and when you can feel the light. It's pretty amazing, the feeling of it. And I felt it like literally my third eye or my throat chakra, kind of a tickling, kind of an energy kind of feeling. But there's also, it basically is the energy of source, I would say. Whatever you identify with. I don't use the word God. It's not that I don't believe in God, but I don't know that I necessarily feel that expression, God. For me, it's source, or I can also say the universe. Source to me is source, the source of everything. And the source of everything is love and creative power, the creative power of love. And that love is unconditional love. It's not love like romantic love where, an attachment, and if you do this, then I'll give you this much love. It's not that, okay? That is human ego shenanigans. That's this is unconditional. It's pure unconditional love. And that's what makes some people will call it God. For me, it's source, and it's powerful, and it gives you a feeling of hope and realizing that you're not alone. And we're not alone. That much I'm sure of. My own story, my awakening was traumatic. It was dramatic. Like many people's, you'll hear many people talk about their awakening, and hey, I'm still awakening. To me, awakening is not a destination, it's a process. You think, oh, I know what's going on now. No, you don't. There's more. And what I've told people is you have to keep looking up. Keep looking up. Keep looking up. So just when you think, oh, okay, it's this person, it's this cabal, they're the ones that are controlling everything and causing all this problem. Keep looking up. Because there's more that goes above that. And then once you get to a point where you realize, oh yes, there's these people, and you can call them cabal, Illuminati, whatever, and those people are controlling things. Okay, yes, that's true, but then at the same time, if you keep going up in your perspective, and what that means is it's the way that angels look at the planet, and it's the way that galactics, many of them will look at the planet. Ascended dragons, another, they look at things differently than we do because they're seeing things from another perspective. They're seeing things from a higher perspective. And so that's what's being required of us. Keep looking up. Keep raising your consciousness. Keep raising your vibration. And one of the ways you do that is by being able to see the truth without... And this is not to say that you can't react. Of course, we're human beings. We're going to react. We're going to get triggered. We're going to get angry. We're going to get hurt. We're going to get sad. But then you have to go, okay, breathe. And then go, okay, these people who are angry and who are what you would call racist. They're in pain. And I'm not saying that makes an excuse for them, but what I'm talking about here is forgiveness and compassion. And the more that we utilize those attributes, the higher our perspective becomes. And the higher perspective becomes, the less triggered we become, and the more we're able to actually do our work, which is help people understand what's going on, help calm people's fears, help give people hope, help give people another alternative. Okay, it's an alternative, it's a choice for them. They can make a choice by giving them tools. Okay, so there's breathing techniques, there's meditation, there's candle gazing. That's one of the ways that I started. It was very simple. Candle gazing, you can just just enjoy the beauty of the flame and breathe, and you'll be amazed at what inspiration, what ideas, a solution will come out, and you'll be like, oh wow, thank you, okay, thank you. Always being grateful. So I hope that explains a little bit. I hope that I know it was kind of a little bit all over the place, but it is a little bit all over the place. So let's see, did I have anything else here? Okay, yes, so there's other groups that do this work. There's Sisterhood of the Emerald Fire. There's also Love Has Won. I think that's another group if you go Google that. I personally would like to start a group, but I at this point have no subscribers, so or just a few subscribers, so it's going to be a while before I get to that point. And there are groups out there, so give a look, see if there's a group that you identify with, a tribe that you identify with, and start doing the work with other people. You don't have to. Like I said, I work on my own most of the time, and it's not really, I don't work on my own. I say that, but that means physically I'm the one that's in the room, but there are other people that I'm working with. It would be neat to meet them someday. I'm kind of hoping that somebody will watch this video and then maybe we'll meet. Okay, so there are other groups out there. Okay, LightWork, it's about love, which we talked about, but it's also about forgiveness. Forgiveness is a necessary component of any sort of healing. It's not something you're going to hear from a doctor or a dentist or a chiropractor even. And I do not pretend that I am a doctor or any sort of medical professional. But what I do know is that that's information that I've been given, and I've seen it work in my life. That forgiveness is a key to healing our lives. And, and for the planet as well. So in this case, I'm talking about the planet. Say you're really angry at a leader. I'm not going to mention names. There's a lot of leaders who are corrupt, who are causing problems in the world. Some of them look good on the surface. Some of them look terrible on the surface, but the result is the same. They're doing things that are harmful to people. And I think I need to turn this off. Sorry, my laptop's making noise. So I send forgiveness to them. And sometimes that's really, really hard. Because I get angry just like anybody else. I get triggered just like anybody else. And I'm going to give you an example. A really, really terrible person example. Okay, Jeffrey Epstein. If you don't know who he is, just Google it or put in YouTube Jeffrey Epstein. There's stuff done by both mainstream news and more independent news where you probably get a little bit more information, but that's up to you. So Jeffrey Epstein, is a known pedophile. He is a member of the elite. He is a billionaire. He has escaped justice for decades. When I first heard about Jeffrey Epstein, and I first heard that he basically got this sweetheart deal, and he was not being punished for his crimes of pedophilia, and I'm sure there's other crimes besides pedophilia that he could be charged with. I won't go down that too far because that's not going to help me do what I need to do. So one of the things that I need to do, as soon as I saw him, and my anger and sadness for those victims, for those children, okay? They keep saying, young women, children. Let's be accurate, children. And of course, like you said, I'm just as angry as anybody else. I thought of all kinds of horrible things to do to this person. And then I went, okay, wait. Because the truth is, if you believe in this work, Jeffrey Epstein might have been you in a past life, okay? It might have been me in a past life. We have tried out different roles and throughout our lifetimes. And the reason why we do that is so that we can understand everything. So, I'm not saying that, oh, he shouldn't be punished. Nope, I'm not saying that at all. But I am sending him forgiveness. And I'm sending light to his victims. Okay? And that's what I was guided to do. That wasn't my decision. That was what I've been guided to do by the angels and guides that I work with. And what I've noticed is since I started doing that, since a group of us have been doing that, putting light on Jeffrey Epstein, sending him forgiveness, all of a sudden he's getting to be on mainstream news as well. So I believe that's the light at work. That's what I believe. And that is just one example of something that you can use the light for. If you're really angry at somebody for doing something, whatever your leader is, your president, your prime minister, a group of people that are making you angry and scaring you, send them light, send them forgiveness. And that's not easy to do, but nobody said this was going to be easy. Let's see, what else do I have? Okay, I think I might leave it here because this is already a long video. Sorry about that. I do want to pull a card though really quick. Somebody who can help us with this, what we've been talking about. There's many different guides. Oh, let me tell you which cards. Everybody knows which cards. Keepers of the Light. Hope you can see that. By Kyle Gray. Lily Moses is the artist. So I'm just going to pull a card, ask for a guide to help us with this. I may end up reading from the book, just so you know. One card, please. A guide to help us through this. Okay, something came up. Ooh, Kalima. Facing fear. Facing fear. Oh, she's beautiful. Her skin is blue. She's a Hindu goddess. I don't know a lot about her, so I will go to the book, but she's a Hindu goddess. Look at all the beautiful, I think these are hyacinth flowers, red flowers. She looks fierce. She's not afraid of anything. She's fierce. What else do we say here? Major spiritual changes are unfolding. This is your chance to soar. Okay. What a perfect message. Okay, so she's beautifully dressed in lots of gold and reds. She also is wearing a necklace of skulls. So, oh, and she has a fountain here. I don't know if you can see it. Right there, fountain, but it's a fountain of flames. Okay. This is very fierce energy. And when I say fierce, I mean powerful fierce and warrior. So now we're talking about not just being light workers, we're talking about being light warriors. There comes a point when you have to cut through the BS, when you have to just tell the truth. And that's what's being required of us. I believe that I read some tarot for us last week, and it talked about getting to a place of where we're not going to be hiding anymore. Many of us have been hiding our whole lives. We're waking up now and going, oh, holy crap, I've got this mission I need to get sorted out. So there's that. She's not afraid. She's so strong. She's such a strong, powerful, feminine energy, though. Still feminine energy. She's telling us that we can do this. We can do this. It's okay to be afraid. It's okay to have doubts. But then there comes a point where you need to let go of the doubts. And you need to be who you are, which is a warrior, a light warrior. We're badasses. And you'll hear that from other people too. I'm not the only one that says that. Okay, let's see what the book says. Let's just read that really quick since I've already gone way over here anyway. It's going to take me forever to upload this. Okay, Kalima. There you are. Okay, facing fear. Major spiritual changes are unfolding. This is your chance to soar. Kali Ma is the Hindu goddess of death and rebirth. She brings old cycles to an end so we can experience transformation. She is strong, fierce, fiery, powerful image of the divine feminine. Many have been intimidated by her, but she is a mother energy and therefore completely loving. She's like a fierce mother protecting her child from harm. She has dark energy like the night sky, but it consumes fear and leaves only love. She is the twin flame of the god Shiva and has even been known to slay his ego so that he can reveal his true loving self. Sometimes we're required to do that, aren't we? Sometimes we have to tell people things that are not easy to tell them. Sometimes we have to do that for ourselves. And we have to slay our own egos. And that ego is fear. That ego is, oh, I'm not good enough to do this. That's ego. And of course, ego is, I've got this all figured out. Come listen to me. That's also ego. And sometimes we have to slay that. Sometimes we have to slay that in order to get to our true selves. Okay, then it goes on here. This is a time when you are able to look fear in the eye and move away from it. Fear is just energy, and energy can be changed. This can be an intense experience because the human self is so conditioned that it may be used to operating with fear present. I kind of can relate to that. It's like normal to have fear. And if you don't, you sort of like, oh, what does that mean? Am I missing something here? I'm not afraid. Okay, when fear is gone, it may feel as though an emptiness is there. But this is a space for love and miracles to enter. That's really wonderful. That's wonderful to know. So if we can work with that fear and let it go, and we feel that kind of, oh, there's, it's kind of empty now without this fear. What do I fill it with? Fill it with love and miracles. That's what we need to fill it with. You're being filled with the courage of spirit now, so that you can move from this phase of your life to the next. Trust the process and call on Kali Ma to help you release your fear and step into a space that's strong, focused, and courageous. Okay, so we ask for Kali Ma's help when we feel too weak to deal with the issue, or, oh my gosh, this depression is really getting me down. Kali Ma, come and help me out here. Help me out of this depression. Help me slay it. Help me get rid of it. I think that's something that she is open to and that she would love to help us with. She enjoys slaying fears. And fears are often tied up with ego. The other thing is that fear is the opposite of love. So when you can stay in the love vibration, you don't experience fear. You don't feel it. It doesn't come near you. Staying in the love vibration is not easy, particularly when we've got a society that's throwing stuff at us, a fear all the time. We've got a lot of things. There's a lot of balls in the air right now. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen with the UK. We don't know what's going to happen with Europe. We don't know what's going to happen with the US. We don't know a lot of stuff right now. And that is scary. But if we can ask Kali Ma, ask her for help to get through that. Okay? Next time you're listening to the news, which you shouldn't probably do too much, next time you're listening to the news and you start feeling that fear in the pit of your stomach, and you start feeling that anxiety, and then that feeling of hopelessness and what the heck can I do? The world is too big. Send light. Can't hurt. Ask for Kali Ma's help. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Namaste.